Hare Krishna. We have the topic of happiness, a topic of finding real happiness. So the first question is it a relevant topic for ourselves? What do you think? Yes, I can see many faces saying yes, definitely. We are looking for happiness. At the same time, we may get misery uninvited. Is it true? We don't need to do anything for the misery, it just comes over. And so it becomes relevant for us to look into happiness in a bit more deeper level. To start with, I don't want to just speak myself, so I will ask you a question, not very difficult. So if you ask, what is happiness? I would like to hear from you. What is your definition of happiness, or what is happiness for you? Does that make sense? It's a subjective question. Individuals will have your own answers. That's why I would like to hear from you. What is happiness? Everyone agreed, we want happiness, but what is happiness? Okay, one by one, we can start from here. Why don't you give it a try? What is happiness?
I would say happiness is where there's no strife, no tension.
Okay, so this is a good negative definition of happiness, isn't it? No stress, no anxiety, no tension. Good, thank you. It's a step forward. So that is happiness. Definitely, it is happiness. Anything more? Inner peace. Okay, so that's another popular definition of happiness. Inner peace, contentment, right? People say, yeah, this is happiness. Anything more? If you have a whiteboard, usually I do a workshop on happiness. Then I fill up the board with all the answers. It's fun. So, yes. Health. Okay, it's a very good point, right? Health, especially if you have some health problems, then you understand health can be related to happiness. And age increases, then we become very conscious of this fact. Is it? So, health is related to happiness. So, some people, yeah, healthy means happy. Anything more? Yes, Divyanshi. Food. Okay, this is very good. You're coming to the point. Yeah, we will have great food here after the talk, after some more kirtan. So definitely you are at the right place. Yeah, thank you. Anything more? Okay, anything that satisfies your soul. So here we're getting deeper. The question is, what is soul? Right? Okay.
So it's like an inner satisfaction. If you are satisfied with your things, with your environment, and satisfied with what is happening with you,
Okay.
kind of surrender.
All right, good. Being satisfied with things are happening around you, with the environment. One is accepting and maybe grateful about it. And okay, good. Thank you. Anything more? Yes.
Be happy in all your ways.
Oh, be happy in your own way. In all your ways. Okay. Not very easy, right? Better said than done. It's not so easy. So yes, definitely, if we can happy in all our ways, it is wonderful. As it is said, there are two categories of people according to Srimad Bhagavatam. That is a graduate study to Bhagavad Gita. You might have heard about the comprehensive yoga text, Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual text from India. And the next level after Bhagavad Gita is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is displayed over there in the book table having 18 volumes. So the Bhagavatam makes a point that two kinds of people can be happy in this world. As Prabhuji mentioned, in all ways. But those two happiness are different, but one is enlightened beings. Like they are happy in all respects. And there is another kind of people who are completely dumb. completely foolish. They can be happy because they can't see anything more. So Bhagavatam says generally these two categories are always happy and everyone else in between. Okay, anyone else wants to throw anything in? Throw something to the mix. If not, I will ask something. How many of you think money brings happiness? No. So very good. We have a group of people who are very advanced, who do not think that money can bring happiness. I am very happy about it. But I don't know whether it is a bit of a shyness attached to that. Okay. Anyway, we will discuss this kind of.
I think Prabhuji should reverse the question.
Okay, please tell me.
Like same question, but reverse. Who thinks money doesn't bring happiness?
Okay. Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Very good point. Reverse the question. So nobody is going to raise the hand. So, which is true. Anyway, we know that what is going on in the mind. Okay. I have asked this question to many people to start with. Okay. Even before. Now, according to you, what percentage of happiness is in your control?
Is your own heart
100%. Oh, very good. Yeah. We can choose happiness. Very good. Very interesting. Yes. We can choose happiness. 100% of happiness in our control. Is it true? Yes, it's a good answer. It's a very inspiring answer. But what is the basis on which we are saying? That's the point, right? She said a good point. We can choose. Now, according to science, there is a science behind, not about the spiritual science, material science about happiness, called happiness studies. So many researchers did studies about happiness and they came up with this point that 50% of your happiness is dependent on one factor. It is hard science. Can you tell what it is? 50%. And you can't do anything about it. Give it a guess, a hard science answer. Yeah, it is, but what is the basis? It is related to biology, so I already gave a hint. Food that she told, her happiness is food already. No, 50% you cannot even change. Basic requirements you can change. Whose nature? Outside nature. No, 50%, this is science by the way. Hardcore science, that's why I'm asking you. Something which is dependent on biology. Here we go, Steve. Past karma. This is not science. Be scientific. No, we are not talking about karma here. Huh? No, we are not scientific here. I already told it's related to biology. Okay, very close to, she's telling hormones. Genes, exactly. It is genetic makeup. So scientists are coming and telling your happiness is dependent on your genes. What percentage? 50%. And can you do anything about it? Yes, you can blame your parents. You can do nothing about it. So this is where the science is coming from. And they told, still they are telling, 50% gone. Out of 100%, 50% is gone. Okay. Now of the rest 50%, they are telling there is about 20%, sorry, about 30%, which is again very difficult to change. Can you tell me? It's not biology, it is something else. Can you give it a guess? Options. See, this is the, we want multiple choices. A, B, C, D. I remember when I used to studying for competitive examination, India competitive examinations are very competitive because too many people. And we say, if you don't know the answer, You put B in the ABCD. Yeah, see? Okay, for you it was A. Anyway, the point is the circumstances that you cannot change can maybe a country in which you are born, or a job you are in which you cannot change so easily, or you have a partner. So whatever we cannot change so easily, we are stuck in a situation. So they say 30% of our happiness is dependent on that. So now what is remaining? Only 20%. So this, if you are a hardcore believer of science, you have 20% of option with you. With that, you choose whatever you want, such as the hobby, earn some money, go to a place where you would like to, etc., etc. So this is the hardcore science, and we are not into it today, okay? Because it is a bit depressing, isn't it? If you already say that 80% is out of control, then we say, okay, let's eat and go. Why to discuss so much? So what this Mataji told is exactly right. When we understand more spiritual knowledge, we can come to a point that we can increase our level of happiness, ultimately 100%. Okay, so it's a journey. It's not immediately we are happy all the time. There is no magic pill. Now, coming back to the original question about some dollars. Okay, is the happiness related at all to money, wealth? Is there any correlation at all? Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Is there any correlation between wealth and happiness? Yes or no? Okay, good. So we agree. Now we are coming to the real platform. Previously we were on the imaginative spiritual platform, enlightened everyone. Now we are coming to the real platform. Yes, there is some correlation, right, between wealth and happiness. How far that correlation goes? What is that correlation? Someone else mentioned here. I think a gentleman right in the front mentioned something related to that. How far wealth will give us happiness? What do you think?
Again, coming to the same point that if you think, I mean, that's a, this thing that if your basic needs are met.
Okay, good. It's actually a good point. We feel generally a people who do not have anything, generally speaking, very common materialistic example I am giving. One doesn't have anything, one feels miserable, isn't it? And we need to meet our needs. So the happiness and wealth are related in that fashion. But once you go beyond a middle class level of wealth, it is mentioned when you are going to the more rich region, one's happiness is not increasing, rather it is decreasing. Can you think? I am not saying this, science is telling this. But the problem is those who have studied this, those who have even published papers on this, even they cannot live a life where they are saying, okay, we will stop our wealth at this point. Can you see? So it is theoretical to say that yes, it is true that happiness is not going to increase with the wealth. It may be required to some point. After that, there is a negative correlation, unfortunately. Wealth increases, anxiety increases. Have you experienced sometimes? So we can see that. So that is also a fact. Are the choices going to increase our happiness? Choices. We have more choices to do. Will it increase happiness? You can buy any house that you want in Tassie, not just in Launceston, in Tassie. You have the wealth to buy anything. You can choose whatever you want. Is that going to give you happiness? To some degree. If the choices increases, is it going to increase happiness? Temporarily. Okay, good. Sometimes it can lead to a paralysis. We have too many choices. There is a very interesting study done on this, which I found it interesting, that those who were graduating from university or those who are making choices. So let's take a practical example here. How many of you do research before buying a gadget Do you do research? Especially if it's a little bit expensive. Do you read reviews? There are people who overall look at the things and they will buy, okay, this looks good, it meets my needs, I'll just buy it. Some people do that. And there are other category of people, they will do extensive research. For them, it's all about reviews, so many YouTube videos, right? Everything. After the whole research, finally they will buy something. Does that happen? So it is found that those who do too much of research, at the end, are they more happier, or who bought, okay, my needs are met, I just buy? Who is more happier? What do you think? It is said that generally people who are, okay, this is my satisfying my needs, I will just get it, they are happier than those who did too much of research. The amount of energy that is put in research, that if that increases too much, then the dissatisfaction also increases. Why? Because expectations are increased. There is an escalated expectations. That happens. You dream too much. Oh, I will get this. I will have a good time. Then you are adding to your expectations. Then when you really get the stuff, it may be meeting your needs, but it cannot meet the escalated expectations. Rather, so then one thinks, no, it owes me more. It is supposed to give me more. Can you see? So this is called two categories of people. One is maximizers and another is called satisfiers. How many of you are maximizers here? You do a lot of research before buying. I am lifting my hand up. I am true. I do the whole research before buying anything. That's my nature. So it depends. So we need to be careful when we are choosing things. Make sense? Now, if you really think about happiness, this kind of happiness, it actually comes and goes, right? Comes and goes. Have you noticed that? We can have anything. Have you in your life, think about something that you really wanted, you put a lot of effort and finally you achieved it. Think about something in your life. Yes, thought about something? How long that happiness lasted for? Let it be anything. For some time? For some time, right? And this is an interesting phenomenon that we deal with. We can aspire to get anything and we can attach the happiness tag to that. If I get that, I'll be happier. And some people forget, I'll be happy ever after. So adding big tag to our achievements. It can be a possession, it can be a position, whatever it is. But once we achieve, what happens? It becomes normal. This is called adaptation. We get adapted to whatever we get after some time. Right? We become adapted. Then this is the new norm. So after some time, that is not giving the same happiness. Then what do we do? Exactly. A moving goalpost. Okay, this is fine. Now if I want to be happy, I need the next one and the next one. This is the nature of happiness of this world. It is temporary, it is flickering, and there is this nature of, we don't get the same return. You think about the best sweet that you like, a dessert, what you like the best. Think about, say, gulab jamun, say a particular kind of cake, whatever it is. If you are not familiar with gulab jamun, Indian fruit, then Indian sweet, then we can tell a cake. Say cheesecake, you love the cheesecake with strawberry and it's really tasty, or gulab, whatever it is. You really love it. You see that, what do you feel? Let me try it out. Isn't it the best sweet that you like? Let me try it out. You get the first piece, pop it in your mouth, then you feel, so good, isn't it? Very good. And then you think, is there one more there? You start looking, is there one more? Maybe I can get one more. Eat the second one. Then some people think, okay, maybe the third one, I can handle the third one. Then I'll be really good. I'll feel even better, which is true. You go for the third one. Then what will happen to fourth one for most of the people? It will become the struggle. So the same thing that you aspired for, the same thing that give you pleasure, now it becomes a struggle. And after that, fifth one, what will happen? Struggle will become pain. Right? Struggle will become pain. So there is a diminishing return. So please note this point. In this world, whatever we get, we think it is going to give more and more, but after some time, it is not only adaptation, sometimes it is adaptation, but after that there is a diminishing returns. This is the world in which we are living, and so if we base all our happiness on these kind of things, we cannot go on and on. Is it true? So Bhagavad Gita and the spiritual text gives a deeper understanding about happiness. Okay, tell me, if you are talking about real happiness, we can understand, we discussed about happiness to some degree now, what we are experiencing in this world. Tell me something about real happiness. What is the nature of real happiness? Tell me one quality. It won't change. Is it a good starting point? You agree? It shouldn't change. Means we should have sustainable happiness. Do you agree? Do we aspire for that? I do, at least. I am very honest in this regard. Yes. So we are looking for happiness that can last. Good. So lasting happiness. What else do you want? Yes. Never ending. So these are 2 points. Two are same in one sense, lasting or never ending. We don't want to see an end, because in this world all the happiness we can see an end. Is it true? Yes, everything is ending. So we don't want end, lasting, anything more.
It's blissful. It brings us bliss.
Oh, it gives us bliss. Very good word that you used. Very good. Sanskrit, this word is called ananda. Have you heard this word? Ananda. So we need bliss. It's not just happiness of getting something, but blissful. That too, lasting. Anything more? Quality of this happiness.
Always be on same level. Always be on same level so it doesn't go like
Okay, okay, so it shouldn't same level sustained. But why are you saying same level? Why not increase? Is it a valid point if you are talking about true happiness? Because if anything on the same level, sometimes we feel bored. Is it true? No, we need something more. So why not? Yes, it is lasting, it is sustained, but at the same time it is increasing. Now let me ask you one thing. How do we experience such a thing? If it is external, if we base our happiness on anything external, what's the problem? Exactly. Anything external we cannot change we cannot control, but it is changing all the time. Isn't it? So if we base our happiness on something external, it is out of our control and it is going to change. So what does it tell about nature of real happiness?
It's not dependent on the external.
Okay, then it is dependent on internal. Okay, so let's understand the nature of real happiness. It has to be internal. Agreed? Are we on the same page? It has to be internal, because external means it's going to change. It's like the weather. It's very beautiful today, but we don't know what's going to happen next week, right? So it is internal, it is sustainable, no end, it is increasing right? So this is, and it's blissful. So this is the nature of real happiness. Now, Bhagavad Gita very clearly does an open heart surgery to show the reality. Bhagavad Gita says that Yeshi samsparshaja bhoga dukhayone eshate adyantavanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Buddha means one who is intelligent. It's talking about a person who is intelligent, spiritually intelligent. Buddha. Buddha, that's where the word is coming from. Buddha. You know Buddha. Where is it coming from? Intelligent. Buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. So Bhagavad Gita says, Yehi samsarjaja bhoga. The enjoyment that we obtain from the contact of the senses. We know the senses, the eyes, nose, touch, etc. The senses, if they are in touch with the sense objects, which is giving pleasure, okay, that is yahi samsarjaja bhoga dukhayone eshate. It is going to give misery at the end. It's a big statement by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. If we are basing our happiness on our senses simply getting in touch with the sense objects, that happiness is going to be temporary and eventually it is going to give suffering. Why? There is adya and there is anta. There is beginning and there is end. So an intelligent person doesn't find happiness in simply sensory happiness. It goes beyond that, because the contact of the senses with the sense objects, that is all about this material life. That is only going to give temporary happiness and we cannot do anything about it. It's a big statement by Krishna. Then we naturally think that is the only perception that we have in this world, isn't it? We see, we touch, we hear, we eat. It's all about the senses. And very clearly it is mentioned, whatever happiness that we obtain through the senses, it is going to end and it is turned into something which is unhappiness. It is turning into misery. Why is it so? And what can we do? So that's where, and this point, you hold this point, keep this point with you. Then another great personality in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlāda, just a 5-year-old boy. He was already self-realized by birth. How? His spiritual teacher, Narada Muni, taught all the spiritual knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother. Mother was Kayadhu. And he learned everything and he started practicing in the womb of his mother. When he came out from the womb of the mother, he was already a perfected yogi, Bhakti Yogi. Can you imagine? And he was growing just 5 years old. He gave this profound teaching in Srimad Bhagavatam. He said that as soon as you are planning your material happiness, you are actually planning your misery as well. Oh, what is this? Whenever you are planning your material happiness, you are planning your misery as well. Okay, let's consider the example. I am going to plan my holidays. Okay? Want to go where? Give me an example. I don't know. You give me Hawaii. Okay, let's give me an example. Hawaii, you want to go there. Somebody is planning the happiness. I will go there, I'll be happy. So according to Prahlāda, he is telling, you are planning your holidays and you think you are going to be happy, which is true, no problem. But you are also planning for some amount of misery. Does that make sense? How? Because, simple reason, you may enjoy for some time, but after that, one has to deal again with the reality. That's it. I remember one time I got a cab and I was going overseas and I was speaking to the driver. So I was speaking to the driver. So he was telling his story. He was telling, look, when I am going overseas for my holidays, I don't have any jet lag. He said, oh, that's pretty good. You're doing pretty well. He said, wherever I go, I change my time. Wherever I land, I change my time and I just go on with my time. I said, it's very impressive. He was a local fellow from Aussie, local fellow. I said, this is very impressive. So he said, it is so great. And next he said, but. I said, what is this but? He said, but when I come back, return flight, I can't take it. Can you imagine? I can't take it because I am again back to the reality of life. Can you see that? So on one side we plan happiness, but it is a coin. There is a twin to material happiness. What is the twin to material happiness? Misery. So there is a misery twin is there. And not only that, this great saint, just 5-year-old boy, he makes another interesting point about happiness, which is really far out. He makes this interesting point that in this material world, generally people tell what is happiness. They tell that something which is in between two sufferings. If we are doing okay, it's not that one is actually blissful. He is actually talking about blissful. One is ecstatic. No, people usually say happiness is if I don't have any problem, I am getting along with things all right, then we say I am a happy person. You know, that is the kind of we have. So he's making the point that we have capacity even to go beyond this. We have the capacity to go beyond this. So we are settling for a much lower level of pleasure and we are thinking, oh, we are okay. So that is not our capacity and that's why it can easily get satiated. So where is the real level of happiness? So we understood it is internal. It's not on the level of senses. So that comes to the question, who we really are. What is our identity? We have many aspects to our identity, right? If I ask you, who are you? Or if we get asked this question, who are you? What are the answers that we give? Give me one answer that you would give. Who are you? If I ask you, what do you say? Name. Good. What else? Okay, identity with family. What else? Nationality. Then profession. Then gender. Anything more? The cricket team, T20. Our Insta ID. The footy team or soccer team that we support, cricket team we support, right? We can have so many identities, isn't it? If we ask who are you, we can tell so many things, or religion, whatever. We have so many identities. Gender, you mentioned gender, so many things we say, okay, I am this, I am this, I am this, so many things we can tell. Now, the real question is, in these identities, can we change any of these identities? Nationality, can we change nationality? Yes or no? Yes, I have changed my nationality many years back, maybe exactly 20 years back I changed my nationality. So, I am living here more than 20 years and I changed my nationality. I am an Australian passport. So, you know, we can change my passport nationality. Gender, can we change gender? Yes, we can change gender, not a problem. Can we change profession? We can do that. Can we change name? Yes. So, what part of us do not change? Okay, oh, what is that? Okay, before that, are we changing our body? We don't need to do anything to change our body. Just live the life. Body is going to change, right? Every second body is changing. Every month, every week, every year body is changing to the degree that every 7 years you are getting a new body. All the cells are replenished every 7 years. So if you are 14 years old, you have almost completed your second body. If you are 70, you have already completed 10 bodies. Everything changed, including the brain cells. So body is changing all the time. Do we change the mind? Mind is changing all the time, right? Mind is just going, we can sit here, we can show ourselves, I am attending very carefully, but the mind is going somewhere else, right? Right? Kids can't do that. That's the point. Kids can't do that. That's why whatever is in the mind, they act. Adults, we know how to sit straight, even though mind is somewhere else. So the mind is changing all the time, right? So if we consider ourselves as the mind is also changing all the time. Body is also changing all the time. So what doesn't change? Need to breathe. Okay. Body, as far as we have the body, we need to breathe. That's the reality. But breathing itself changes. Isn't it true? Breathing itself changes all the time. So, according to Bhagavad Gita, we understand there is a witness to changes of the mind and the body. Is it true? Can we witness changes to the body? Yes, we can. The body is changing. And can we witness changes to the mind? If you want, you can. If we ask you, how are you? I am good, thank you. We just say automatically. But what are we meant to do? We need to do a stock take of the mind. How am I feeling? Am I feeling good or bad or in between? Then give an answer. But we don't do that. We give the instant response. So we can observe the state of the mind, whether it is agitated, whether it is peaceful, whether it is happy, whether it is sad, whether it is in between, right? So we can be a witness to our own mind. You agree? If it is so, who is that witness? Who is observing the changes of the mind and the body? So that we could call soul, we could call Atma, we can have any terminology, we can understand. We are actually observing the changes to the body and the mind. That's what we are. And in Sanskrit, that real self is called Atma. So when we talk about happiness, or the happiness which is sustainable, which is ever increasing, that which is internal, we are talking about happiness that is experienced on the level of the real self. Not by the combination of doing, having a party and just, have a good time. After that, there is misery followed. But not that. But the happiness which is internal, which is experienced within, that is the real happiness. So that is on the level of the soul or the Atma. That's the real happiness. And we say soul. Have you heard? You all heard the term soul. But what are the qualities of the soul? Have you thought about it? What is soul made of? When you talk about the body, we know what is made of. There is blood, there is skin, there are bones. We can have flesh, we can have we know so much about our body, right? How about the soul? What is soul made of? Any idea? What is soul made of? God particle, okay. Okay, God particle. So what is the God particle made of? Okay, good. It's a good point. We are starting with consciousness. Everyone agreed with that? Consciousness, awareness. If soul is present in the body, there is awareness. This is spirituality 101, starting here. First quality we have is consciousness, awareness. Right? If I clip my nail, I don't feel any pain because at the tip of the nail there is no consciousness spread. But if I am careless and if you go a bit deeper, ouch, pain, because there is awareness spread there. So the awareness or the consciousness of the soul is spread through body and the mind. So by default, body and mind are unconscious. They are dead matter. One is subtle, one is gross. But mind is also made of matter. Can you understand? So the consciousness, when it is passing through the body and the mind, then we are animated. Just like a gloves, if you put your hand inside a gloves, you can animate the gloves. Similarly, when the conscious soul enters the body, we are acting. We are animated. The dead body is animated. The dead mind is animated. So very good. We understood the quality of the self, the soul is conscious. What else? In Sanskrit, it is called Sat, means conscious, and that quality is everlasting. This is our quality, everlasting. Bhagavad Gita explained this is an important quality, conscious and everlasting. That's what we are. That's what we are made of. So Bhagavad Gita says that body changes, mind changes, but the soul doesn't change. Bhagavad Gita explains that Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuhyati. Just as we go through, the soul is experiencing childhood, youth, adulthood, old age, and then finally death. So the soul is experiencing all this, but even at the time of death, a person in knowledge is not bewildered. A realized person is not bewildered even by death, because death is only of the body. Soul is not dying. So that is the Sat, the first quality of the soul, conscious, everlasting. Krishna gives an example of changing dress. Vasamsi jirnani yadha vihaya. He explained the changing of body is just like changing of dress. How many times have we changed our old useless dress and we taken a new one? We have thrown away so many dresses. Can we even count? No. Do we cry about it? Not really. If you get a new one, yeah, it's all good. Right? Similarly, Krishna says that changing this body is such a casual thing. It's not a big deal. We have changed this body so many times. This is one more. That's it. So Krishna explains that body dies, but we don't. So make it very clear. This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have a copy of Bhagavad Gita, please get a copy of Bhagavad Gita. This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. That's why it's told is spirituality 101, beginning. And then this one quality of the soul. The second quality of the soul is knowledge. This is our intrinsic quality. It's called chit. Sat, chit. Chit means knowledge and capacity to have true knowledge. Not the material knowledge, but the spiritual knowledge. That is our possession. We have, even though we can say it is covered at this point. So that is Sat. Second is Chit. And finally, what are we made of? Ananda. Ananda we explain, bliss. That's why the soul is made of Satchidananda. Eternity, knowledge and bliss. So now if you ask anyone, who are we made of? We can give the answer. Otherwise we say soul. But what is the soul made of? So Satchidananda, eternity, bliss and knowledge. But we are only a tiny bit, a small particle of that. That is enlivening the whole body. That's why we are living. That's how it is. However, you talked about God or the source of everything. So when we talk about the Supreme, Supreme is also Satchidananda, same quality. However, quantity is different. Qualitatively we are same with the Supreme, but quantitatively we are different. And that's why we have accepted this material body. We are stuck here. But it doesn't happen to the Supreme Person. It doesn't happen. Second is, apart from these 3 points, there is one more point to be understood about the soul, is that, or the self, is that we have identity. We have a personality. There is a form. The soul is not impersonal. Rather, we have a form. So even when we are conditioned by this material body, still we have a form. So when it's our original state, even this body is gone, still we do possess our eternal form. So this is the 4 characters: eternal, knowledgeable, blissful, and has a form, identity, a personality. So that is our real nature. And when we talk about real happiness, that's our intrinsic nature. And how do we realize this real happiness? So that's where the term yoga comes. Yoga, you have heard about yoga. Yoga means to connect, but usually people think yoga means just the exercise posture. But ultimately yoga means the loving connection between us, the spiritual self, the spiritual soul, and the Supreme Lord. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Mamaiva amsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Mama eva amsha. All of you, all the living entities are my part and parcel. We possess the same quality as Krishna, but of course the quantity is different, but we do possess the same quality. We are Sachidananda, Krishna is also Sachidananda, but he is the source, and being the Supreme, we are tiny, we are infinitesimal, small, but Krishna is infinite. In that sense, there is a difference. There is qualitative equality, but quantitative difference. So the yoga is connecting ourselves to Krishna. That is called Bhakti Yoga. And in that process, in that internal connection, what we do, we have access to our senses and mind. These are the tools that we have. So we engage these tools in this process of connecting ourselves to Krishna. This is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti means loving devotional service. So when we engage our senses and mind in service of the Supreme, that is called Bhakti Yoga. We already did some Bhakti Yoga. What we did? We did Kirtan. Here we are engaging or chanting, we are engaging the tongue. We are engaging hearing. We are engaging, even when we dance, we can engage our body in the service of the Supreme, because the mantra is nothing but names of Krishna. So we are connecting through that spiritual medium. So the self is getting connected to the Supreme. That is called Kirtan. Kirtan means everyone together. Individually when we chant, it is called japa. But when we are together, when we chant, it is called Kirtan. So can you understand? So this is a process. Then we can do devotional service. Say we are having, somebody mentioned about food. We have spiritual food. So when we have spiritual food, it's called prasad. If we have that, that is engaging ourselves in Bhakti Yoga, because it will reconnect ourselves. The soul is becoming active. When we are discussing these kind of things, when we understand what are our real characteristics, we are again, what are we doing? We are connecting to the Supreme. So the spiritual science is not just a typical religion. Krishna doesn't say that we are Hindus or these teachings are for Hindus. You can read the whole Bhagavad Gita, you can read any Vedic literature, never will you find a word Hindu. We are not talking about Hindu religion. No. We are talking about the spiritual self. Everyone is a spiritual self. It doesn't matter where we are born or what species we belong to. We are all spiritual self. So our connection to the Supreme is intact no matter where we are, in whatever situation. Only point is how we can rekindle, how we can again invoke that connection, and that is Bhakti Yoga, and the prime process for that is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because that is considered the meditation for this age. Silent meditation was the process for a previous age. Now our attention span has reduced, right? We are all doing what? Have you done this before? This is what everyone is getting trained in this, few hours a day. So it becomes very difficult. We are trained to be distracted. There are mass weapons of distraction. That is our distraction is our distraction at this point. And so our mind is not so capable to do silent meditation on Krishna. So currently the process given is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we'll take some questions. After that we will have a full session of chanting and dancing. We can be completely relaxed, forget about everything, and we can chant, dance, we can relax. And then we will have our dinner prasadam. So we'll go one by one. So since I told all this, so to give a summary of what I spoke, initially we discussed what is happiness, a subjective definition of happiness. Then we understood material things are not really bringing us happiness that we want, which is internal, everlasting, increasing, blissful. That's not giving us. It's all related to beginning and an end, and we don't even understand what's really happiness. So we need to understand that internal nature of happiness, and so we need to understand who we really are. And when we understand, okay, we are actually made of bliss, that's our real nature, then the question comes how we can invoke that, and that is through the natural connection that we have to Krishna through the process of Bhakti Yoga. Then we can experience this day by day, step by step, but it takes practice. But it is our capacity to experience this. We have that capacity, just like a child. If child is normal, child as he or she may walk, fall, crawl, and then slowly will be able to walk and run, right? Because the child has the capacity for that. Similarly, we have the capacity for that. So it is considered Bhakti Yoga is a cultivation. It's a practice in which we experience day by day, month by month, year by year, decade by decade. So we have the great opportunity for that. And if you want to know more about it, we have books. We have Bhagavad Gita. If you have Bhagavad Gita, we have Srimad Bhagavatam. I told the story of the 5-year-old Prahlāda, how he gave these profound teachings. It's part of the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which has 12 cantos. 7th canto primarily gives the teachings of Prahlāda, like that. So much of teachings are there. Very interesting way with a lot of stories. So we have all these books. You are welcome to get these books after the program. And meanwhile, any questions? I would like to hear from you. You can ask any questions. It's very open floor. Don't be shy. Be free. We are friends. Yes. How can we be happy in life? One, we need to know what is happiness as we discussed. Second, if we want to go deeper in happiness, we should have a balanced life. When you talk about balanced life, usually people think about, okay, we need a work and life balance. No. Work-life balance is not what we are talking about. Why? Work is material. And just if you consider our family life, that can also be material. So if we are talking about balance in life, balance between our material activities and spiritual activities, there has to be a balance for that. So how do we get that? Material activities you do, you will have your duties, maybe as a mother, maybe as an employee, whatever. You perform those activities, at the same time make sure that you have sufficient time to understand the spiritual knowledge given in Bhagavad Gita. You have some time to associate with such group of people who want to know something spiritual. You have time to do your chanting. You can chant, you can practice Bhakti Yoga at your home. So bring this balance in life between your material activities and spiritual activities. Eventually you will see that the spiritual activities or that spiritual consciousness which is cultivated through spiritual activities will permeate even our material life. So then there is no such kind of a division or even a bifurcation. Rather, you can experience the happiness throughout your life, even in your normal activities, because everything becomes connected to our spiritual life. Make sense? Yes, it takes work. It's a beginning. So first you gain knowledge, you get more association, you will learn more. And you have to experience it. It's not just theory. Okay? Thank you. Very good question. Anything more? You have a big silence.
It's easy to say but difficult to follow.
Yes, that's true. It is easy to say but difficult to follow if you are alone. How do we do it? We have to do it collectively. Bhakti Yoga is a communal process. Community has to do together. It's not a process where we can go to Himalayas and do our meditation. That is not Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is done in association of like-minded people. And that's why we are sitting together here. You understand? Now, is it difficult to chant? Is it difficult to dance? Is it difficult to take prasadam? It's not difficult. So that's how it works. So we will try to have more association here. That's what we need here in Launceston. That's all I can say. But it's a good point. We need association. We need to be together when you can do it easily. And it's a lot of fun. Yes?
Krishna mentions that to be even-minded in distress and happiness. Krishna mentioned that to be even-minded in distress and happiness.
Yes, that's right.
So do you have any tips on how to be
Okay, very good point, because in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, along with presenting the soul, qualities of the soul, it is verses from 12 to 30, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes his point that one shouldn't be too elated by a happy circumstance materially, or depressed by something which is distressful. One should create an equilibrium to the mind. It has to be even. So now, how do we do that? On a material plane, it is very difficult. So the recommendation is we practice spirituality on a practical level. If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra on a regular basis, and if we associate with the devotees and we gain knowledge, then we can understand that our consciousness is elevated in such a way that we will be able to handle both distress and happiness, because spiritual happiness is beyond material distress and material happiness. So in other words, we have to come to the spiritual platform. On that platform, we can keep our mind even amidst distress or happiness, because both are unnatural state for the soul. Material happiness and material distress are unnatural for the soul. Both are not making soul happy. Can you see? But we think, material happiness is good. No. So only through spiritual practice and through knowledge. We need knowledge so that we can check ourselves. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Is there any final questions? Yes, Prabhu.
How to be spiritual at workplace?
Okay, this is a very good point, because for many people, spirituality means once a week, or if you are serious, in a day, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, I'll do spiritual activities, and at work it's a different world. So yes, this is the situation given for Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, whole spiritual knowledge to Arjuna on the battlefield, right? You see the Bhagavad Gita, it was spoken on the amidst the battle. That shows Bhagavad Gita in itself is very practical, very pragmatic text. And so, Krishna explains this point that Mam anusmara yudhyacha mai arpita manobuddhir mame vaishyasya samshaya. Now Arjuna has to fight. is fighting in the battle because he's a trained soldier. He has to fight. But at the same time, he has to be spiritual. So Arjuna became the receiver of this knowledge because of this reason, because we had to deal with family, work, so many responsibilities. And all these times, how can we be spiritual? So one point we need to understand, we need to meditate on why are we working. When we are working, at the back of the mind, we need to have a clear answer for why are we working. What is the usual answer? Why are we working? To make some money, to give me a living. Is it right? Yes. But one can go deeper than that. If we are practicing spirituality, if we are practicing Bhakti Yoga, then we can understand, I am working. There is a purpose. There is a real, tangible purpose to my work. Yes, my immediate reason could be I may get some money, which is required. And that is helping my spiritual life because I had to pay my bills. It is helping my family. And also, it is helping the wider society. For example, here we can see Goloka Bhakti Prabhu, we can see Nishan Prabhu, Bharati Mataji, all these devotees have actually come together. They have extended themselves to help others. So there has to be means for that. Nagarajan Prabhu, many devotees. So even you came, Steve Prabhu, all the way from Hobart. So you are supporting the program, these kind of activities. It doesn't happen automatically. So all of you are putting some effort, putting some money towards this, right? So when you are working, you think, I am giving myself spirituality and also I am giving others spirituality. Can you see? Deep down, if we have that in the mind, that really helps us. Okay, there is meaning to my work. Then when you increase your consciousness, then you can see that even the workplace, even the situation, even things which you are dealing with, ultimately they are all connected to Krishna. These are all Krishna's energies. So for that you need to study Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains. Bhumirapo analo vayo khamano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyame bhinna prakrtirashtata. That all these things, bhumi, earth or anything solid, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego, these are all my separated energies. So one can see Krishna's energies playing everywhere. So that is a deeper vision. So in simple terms, if we want to be spiritual all the time, we need to see through the eyes of knowledge. We need to see that through the eyes of spiritual knowledge. This is how we can see spirituality running everywhere. Nagarajan Prabhu.
Can we visualize work itself as a karma so that connects to our spirituality straight away?
I didn't hear.
Can we perceive our work, what we are doing in work itself as a karma, karmic duty, so that way it connects to spirituality?
Yes, you can see it as a karma, but we need to, in spiritual sense, we need to go beyond karma, right? Because karma means there is a reaction. Karma means action and reaction. Spirituality means how to go beyond action and reaction. That's why we had to add yoga to karma. How karma can become karma yoga. Karma work becomes karma yoga when we have spirituality, when we have spiritual vision. Yes? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, are we ready for our next interesting session? Before that, I thank very much. You all responded very nicely, asked nice questions. Hare Krishna. Okay.